today I'm talking about the first 3 films that Don Bluth directed. And the names of those 3 movies are An American Tail, The Secret of NIHM, and The Land Before Time. First up is An American Tail. This is a 1986 film about a very Jewish mouse who emigrates to America with his family, but unfortunately gets separated from his family along the way. So now he's alone in the Big Apple, unsure of where his family actually is, and he gets into a bunch of hijinks. The movie has very strong Fiddler on the Roof and West Side Story vibes, which makes sense because they're kind of similar concepts. Like, he was a Jewish mouse living in Russia and he's being persecuted against. The opening scene is their house being burned down and them being chased out of town by a bunch of evil Russian cats. So similar to the end of Act 1 of Fiddler on the Roof and also the end of Fiddler on the Roof. And then a lot of the rest of it is very West Side Story of just like all of these different groups of new Americans kind of figuring out how to be an American now. And I think it handled both things decently well. What it does a great job of is showcasing how America is really just a country of immigrants, and that's a good thing. That's what makes us unique and interesting and strong as a community, is that we're a whole bunch of other communities that wanted a better life, and that America is the land of dreams and opportunity. You can live the American dream. That's a possibility here. We're free to say essentially whatever we want. Like, there's a whole thing about how they're not allowed to say cats in Russia, but they can say cats all they want here. They can talk about the bad stuff. They can express their feelings. They can rally together to shape the world how they want it to be. And that's beautiful. It reminds me of how I used to think about America when I was a kid. It's America. Anything is possible here. It's the land of the free and the home of the brave. As long as you're dedicated to it, there might be tragedy along the way, but you'll succeed here in America. On the whole, I enjoyed the movie a good solid amount. It's a quite like, so it's basically a 4 out of 5 for me. Fievel, the main character, is a bit of a crybaby brat at times, which wasn't the most fun watching. And like, this movie's definitely directed at younger kids, so it's harder for me to immerse myself in the way that the intended audience would. But yeah, no, it's a solid little film that I would recommend. It was nice, it was cute, it was fun. It has good morals, it has good vibes, it has what America should be in it, and it's a delightful, charming little film. So yeah, no, this is a solid film that I would recommend. Next up is The Secret of NIHM. This is a 1982 film that I fundamentally do not understand how they even made this. Like, the pitch process for this movie is bonkers. Before I get into it, if you like this film, if you're a fan of this film, please explain it to me. Like, explain how you liked it as a child, and then explain how you still like it as an adult. What about it do you connect with? I don't hate this movie. I liked it. I thought it was fine. It's just such a strange beast. So, the premise for this movie is this widowed mother with 4 children, one of whom is so incredibly sick that if he were to go outside, he would die. Now, unfortunately, their home is about to be destroyed. So now, this mom, who is the main character of this story, teams up with a very horny crow to convince a bunch of rats that they should help move her house. To make it more strange is that they go into great depth to explain how all the mice and rats are anthropomorphic, but they spend 0 time explaining why and how there's just magic, which also wasn't in the original novel that this is based on. What's also just so strange about the movie is Mrs. Brisby, the lead of this story, like she basically gets everywhere in life because everyone loved her dead husband. Rightfully so, because not only did he die in like a war hero situation, he also was like their Moses. He helped the initial really smart rats escape N.I.H.M, and also he was sort of immortal. Not like completely immortal, just like eternally youthful type of thing. Them just mentioning that raises so many more questions, especially because like they spent the time to explain how these mice and rats are smart. So like this has to be several generations down from the original group, or did like the smart rats and mice teach other rats and mice how to be smart? Like, is Mr. Brisby Mrs. Brisby's great-great-grandfather? I don't know. And then on top of all of that, just the incredibly weird lore of this movie for small children, is that this is also just straight up a horror movie. Like the first time we see the cat, whose name is Dragon, is freaking terrifying. And like whenever Mrs. Brimsby is out in the wilderness, she's like, you gotta keep our voices down or we're gonna attract danger, we're gonna die. Or like when she goes to meet the great owl, it's so scary. There's a spider there with drooling spit. Like, what the hell? This is so terrifying. I just don't even get like how they pitch this. Cause it's like, okay, this is a movie for children under the age of 5. Who should be the protagonist? One of the small children? No. We're gonna have one of them on death's doorstep. It's actually gonna be their mom, because who do small kids love but not their mom? Yeah, no, this movie's wild. I don't get this movie whatsoever. So I would really love to be enlightened by people who care about this movie. So yeah, no. What the hell is this movie? Would I recommend it? I mean, it wasn't a bad experience. It was just a strange one. So maybe, I guess, I don't know. It's weird. And lastly is The Land Before Time. This is a 1988 film, the first of 14. The only one that's not a musical, I believe. The basic premise is times are a-changin' in Dinosaur Land, so everyone's trying to migrate to the Promised Land, the Great Valley, but along the way an earthquake happens and a T-Rex attacks, so 5 children get separated from their parents, and or their parents just die, and then they have to make the journey to the Great Valley by themselves. Yeah, it was fine. I've seen this as a kid. I liked Littlefoot a lot. From what I remember, I like the second one a lot more because that's where Chomper gets introduced. He's the little T-Rex baby. But I had watched this like a decade ago, and what I remembered from that stayed true in that like it's kind of just boring and really, really sad. Like the movie is Littlefoot dealing with the death of his mother. She was a single mother. He knew his grandparents. He knew one set of grandparents, but he gets separated from them and then is just a small child dealing with an immeasurable amount of grief, which like, yeah, kids go through grief, and I guess this gets to help them process that, but like, hot damn, man, it's so sad. Yeah, I don't know, I just thought it was fine. My favorite character this time around was Petrie. I'm kind of surprised I didn't connect to him more as a kid, because he very much so was me as a child. It was just kind of like terrified of everything. Though I guess it was a good thing that I really look to Littlefoot as an inspiration, because he is, you know, the strong emotional leader of the group. So good job, young Charlie, for finding him aspirational. Would I recommend it? If you're curious about it, sure. But again, it's targeted for very small children. I imagine you're an adult. Unless you have a small child, it might be a bit of a struggle to get through it. I had to stop halfway through because I had something going on. And I didn't super want to start it back up again, but I'm like, no, I need to finish it. It's not a bad movie. It's just a movie for very small children. It's fine. You're not in for an awful experience. It's an interesting trip of a film. So yeah. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got An American Tail, sitting at number 34 in the Quite Like section. And then after that is The Secret of NIHM, sitting at number 38 in the Liked section. And then bringing up the rear is The Land Before Time, sitting at number 43, again in the Like section. And this is out of a total of 69 old movies so far this year.